Well, welcome back. My name is Ted Thomas, and we're going to talk about real estate. And I've been involved in real estate for over 30 years, and I've been involved in a subset of the traditional real estate, which I'm going to tell you about today. So real estate's a pretty broad category. Traditional real estate is thought of pretty much as homes, small office buildings, small farms, but mostly homes. There are some retail businesses involved, but it's mostly homes. And this business is a good business for everybody. So we're going to talk about how to become successful in real estate. So think before you leap. If there's a boom in the real estate market, wow, the National Association of Realtors will have in excess of 1 million members. Now think about that. So first of all, that's a lot of competitors. 1 million members. All right, now in the poor real estate market, that's when the markets are down, interest rates are high, real estate's not selling. Well, the National Association of Realtors will only have 500,000 members. In other words, they cut it in half. So ask yourself, what happened to those 500,000 people? Well, you don't want to be one of those people, and you don't want to be unemployed and unplugged from the business. So let's learn how to do this the right way. So how to become successful in real estate? Well, I'm always saying there's a lot of different ways to be successful, so let's learn more than one of them. So I'm Ted Thomas. I've been involved in a small subset called tax liens and tax deeds. And I'm going to show you that small business where you can generate $25,000, $50,000, even $100,000 on one single transaction. I'll be right back to tell you about that. Now, in today's episode, I'm discussing your question and trying to answer your question, how to become successful in real estate. Now, maybe you want to be a real estate agent. Maybe you want to buy and sell real estate. That's where most people start. Well, first of all, you're going to need a license from the governor of your state to do that. So this involves taking an exam. They want to make sure that you know everything the government wants you to know. So you're going to take a lot of multiple choice questions and go through those. You're going to have formal classes. But basically, the number one rule in real estate is to be valid, anything that you do in real estate has to be done in writing. You'll hear that again and again. So I'm going to talk about some entrepreneurial things that could make you successful in this business. Now, I'm primarily in a subset to the regular part of the real estate. So let's take a step back. So learning and knowledge are respected by everyone. Years ago, the trade unions came up with training for their new members. By that I mean the carpenters, the plumbers, the electricians. They went through an apprentice system, and from an apprentice, they graduated to be a journeyman. From a journeyman, they got to be a master. Now, why did they have that system? Well, they had that system because they wanted people to realize that they could get quality work done on their property. And what happened was anybody could say there was no licensing and no apprentice system, so people just did whatever they want. This is a way the consumer could realize that an apprentice was a starter person, a journeyman person was a good person to have you work for you, but it would even be better if you got a master. All right, so each one of those people knows things at a considerably different level. My point is, instead of you getting yourself into heartbreaking failure and lawsuits and getting fired from your job, it would be a good time to start thinking about a mentor, a coach, a guide, or some lengthy real estate training. Now, where are you going to get that training? There's many real estate companies that will allow you to come to work and work under a journeyman or a master. All right, does that mean you're going to make as much money? No, but at least you're going to get the proper training. So mistakes are very costly in the real estate business. So you don't want to be part of those mistakes, and you don't want to be part of people losing confidence in you. Once they lose confidence in you, I'm going to tell you, you're not going to be able to sell anything. First of all, to be able to sell stuff, people are going to have to know you, they're going to have to like you, and they're going to have to trust you. You can write those three things down. Know you, like you, and trust you. All right, that means you're trusted. A trusted advisor is usually someone that's gone to school or been trained. So, turning back to the business part of it, if you want to be successful, are you a good networker? Do you understand what it's going to be like to have a lot of competitors? Are you willing to learn from others? These are all part of the attributes that you need when we answer the question, how to be successful in real estate. You need to have skills that are taught in schools, they're taught by mentors, they're taught by coaches. It's a lot more than taking a multiple choice question and answer test every day until you can memorize it and get a real estate license. You need a coach, you need a mentor, you need someone experienced to help you out. Now, your friends aren't going to be able to help you very much because they're just like you are. They have probably the same level, you all like each other, so you're probably all doing the same thing. So you need someone that's outside of your normal sphere. Now, you're going to get lots of advice from home, but I can't change all that. They're going to give you the advice anyway. All right, so the problems that you're going to solve are simple problems, and they're not difficult, but you're going to have to put in the time. It's all about attitude, and if you have the right attitude and you get the attributes that I'm talking about, you're going to be successful like other people. Now, when I started and I wanted to be successful, what I did is I started asking a lot of questions. I mean, a lot of questions of experienced business people. And what did I ask them? I asked them what enabled them to make the money they were making, and what did they do specifically, daily, weekly, monthly? What did they do specifically to be successful in the business they would? What enabled them to make the money? What enabled them to be good business managers? Now, when they answered, I didn't just listen, I wrote some notes about that. Now, once I made the notes, what could I do? Well, what they told me, I could then go try and do myself. And when I did, guess what? Everything they told me worked. And it didn't work at the same level it worked for them, but it worked. So what they told me, their experience really helped me. That was better than any book. It was better than any professor. It was really what was going to happen. So I didn't go to teachers. I didn't go to attorneys. I went to experienced people. Once they told me what to do, I tried to do the same thing they did. And guess what? It worked. And it worked for me the same way it worked for them. Of course, I didn't make as much money, but it took a little while and I could do the same thing. So here's an example I like to use. And the example is this. If you wanted to climb Mount Everest, now that happens to be the tallest mountain in the world. So if you wanted to climb that mountain, it's in Nepal in Asia, and you want to climb that mountain, would you go to Sir Edmund Hillary, the first guy to ever conquer Everest, and get advice and pay for that advice so that you didn't make any mistake? I mean, after all, you go up to 30,000 feet, and imagine that, 30,000 feet, you're going to need oxygen, you're going to need a lot of climbing skills. Who do you want to go to, Sir Edmund Hillary or his cousin? Now, his cousin lives in England, in Manchester, England, and has never left that island they call Great Britain. So who do you want to get the advice from? Well, it's really not a joke. It's a serious thing. And what do people do? They get advice from everybody but the people that are really successful. So you need successful people in your life if you are going to be successful. So choosing the right coach or the right mentor in your future is going to be a big deal. I'm going to say choose wisely. It doesn't matter how much money it costs. It's your future. If you want to change your future, choose wisely. Whatever you choose is going to have consequence. So I'm going to give you an example of a woman student that came to me, and she wanted to be successful in my subset, which is tax liens and tax deeds. So she's from a small town, a little town in British Columbia. It's surrounded by beautiful mountains, crystal clear lakes. You would think you were looking at National Geographic if you looked where she lived. So beautiful place. She already had money. Her and her husband had built up a generous portfolio. What did she want to do? She wanted to just grow her portfolio. About 5% would make her happy every year. So what did she do? For 20 years, I was surprised to find out, for 20 years, she hired brokers, she hired attorneys, she hired investment advisors, she hired financial planners, she hired every guy that she could to make 5%. And in 20 years, no advisor was ever able to make the 5%. As a matter of fact, some of those advisors actually lost money. So she came to me after 20 years. She had hired all these financial planners, stockbrokers, investment advisors, CPAs, accountants, all these people, and she hadn't made her 5%. So she challenged me. She said, I want you to make 5%. Well, folks, I don't take investor money. I'll teach you how to do it, but I don't take investor money. And that's what she needed. She needed to be able to control her own destiny. She found out other people couldn't get the job done. All right, now were those people bad? I don't know what went on, but I can tell you this. If you can control your own destiny, you're on your way. So how to become successful in real estate is what we're talking about, and that's what she wanted. So she challenged me, but I said, look, I'll teach you, but I want to be clear. If you're viewing me right now, I don't take clients' money, okay? Clearly, she needed to control her own destiny. So I taught her what to do. Well, her first experience was genuinely profitable. And boy, was it profitable. Now, she did not even live in the United States, but she bought in Florida. Now, that small investment she made of $25,000 turned out to be a gem of a little property at a tax defaulted auction. And when she went there after the auction and she turned the key in the door and she opened the door, she found a fully furnished home. Well, what did she do? She cleaned it up and she put it into a rental pool. And guess what? She was making a 35% return on her money because she bought a valuable property for $25,000 and she now is making over a 30% annualized rate of return. Now, this is a person that started out wanting a 5%, but on that one property alone, she was making a 35% rate of return. So what's my answer? Choose whoever you need to help you wisely. If you want to be successful in real estate, choose who you're going to help you. Now, what happens with football teams? What happens with tennis players? They hire a coach. You probably have to do the same thing. Now, my name is Ted Thomas, and I'm going to finish this video now, but right below me is a free gift for you. For those of you that are going to buy these properties and learn this business, you will need to take precautions before you buy. Be sure you have boots on the ground, and be sure you understand exit strategies, which I'll tell you in other videos. I'm Ted Thomas. I'll see you on the next video.